Everyone's been talking about Robert Snodgrass this week, and he's also spoken as well. What's your, now the dust has settled, your take on things tonight?
I don't know whether the dust has settled, has it really? It seems to be every man and his dog's had his two penneth worth of picking up on the incident. I think, from my point of view, what Robert did was correct as far as the statement he put out. I thought he was pretty thorough, pretty open and honest about it, and hopefully we can move on from that.
Have you had a chat with him about it?
I did have a chat with him. I expressed my views. They'll stay personal, but he's well aware of his responsibilities. He's an honest guy, very honest, probably too honest sometimes, and we look forward to his next performance.
I can remember other dressing rooms you were involved in where it was kind of cleared out and it became something of a problem, but this is, I guess in your view, a one-off, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. These things happen in football. I don't think it will end on Saturday. You know, I think it's always going to be a controversial issue. I felt at the time that the referee dealt with it. He obviously gave what he thought was a penalty. I think we have to commend them on that sometimes because it is difficult. And fortunately, unfortunately, everything gets replayed a million times, and sometimes replays make everything look worse than what they are at the moment. So, you know, for me, it's forgotten, it's gone, and hopefully Robert can move on from this.
He's probably got to prepare to be almost stigmatised on the pitch, though. I mean, that's the danger of something.
I don't think we need to get carried away by it.
No, but when referees are looking at him, that's what I mean.
Yeah, well, that's up to the referees to do their job, and on that occasion the referee did his job, which he thought was correct in giving the penalty. You know, we can all talk about decisions going against us all the time in a game of football. We can all look at replays, we can all make comments. We have Match of the Days, we have Sky, we have radio, we have all sorts of platforms now where we can't seem to get away from it. I think it was a genuine mistake. I accept that Robert's apology and we move on.
Is it frustrating when people didn't talk about performance where maybe you should have merited 3 points, or is it good that you didn't because you didn't get 3?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think football is now a case of let's find something, you know, to criticise first and talk about the positives afterwards. You know, we seem to get that out of the way pretty quickly. For me, I thought the performance was excellent. I thought it was very good. I expected us to win the game when we got into that 3-2. And obviously, a lack of concentration in the end cost us 2 points. But overall, I thought we were more than capable of a result, and unfortunate not to get one.
I think people said that the shackles are off. Do they ultimately go back on because you're not playing at home this week or this week?
No, I don't think there's any real difference. I thought that the players, the team, performed the way I wanted them to perform. I thought, you know, we went with a slightly different system. We managed to keep the ball in the opposing half more than we have done in the past, and we were very worthy of the 3 goals we scored. So, you know, we're looking for that again. We're looking to be on the front foot, whether we're at home or away.
Is the system something that you kind of look to change or can continue?
I think there have to be flexibilities in football at the moment because we're playing at the highest level, and teams at times can counteract what you're trying to do as a team. We're not up there with the big 6. We haven't got that. We haven't got that immense quality in all departments. So we have to manufacture some things sometimes, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, there's still touching distance between you and kind of the pack ahead of you.
Well, the beauty of the league is that it's getting a little more condensed down at the bottom. So, you know, a win shifts you 3 or 4 places, a defeat keeps you in the pack. So we're trying to be progressive. We're trying to get out of that bottom 3 area. Sooner the better. But we know Christmas is coming and games come thick and fast, so there's going to be a lot of shuffling of the pack, I think.
There's a lot of coaches moaning about Christmas who aren't used to it. Are you looking forward to it?
Well, Christmas is, for a football coach, manager, players, is not always a day to give presents. You know, it's a time when we have to do our jobs. We have to prepare properly. We have to be ready for all those games that come our way. When you're used to it, you just get on with it. When you're not used to it, you can find objections to it, but until things change, then there's no point worrying about it.
It's not an easy programme, but does the fact you've got those 2 sort of Christmas games at home make a difference and make it kind of more palatable?
Yeah, it does make it a lot better because you're not doing the travelling. So you can prepare a little bit more, you can rest a little bit more, and you don't have that organisation of getting on a bus or getting on a flight or getting to a hotel and and you've got parties going on over New Year and things like that, it can be very difficult. We don't have that situation, so hopefully we can make it count.
Usually on the other side of the M62 this time of year, someone called Sir Alex would have been asked what it would take to win the title, how many points. Have you got a points total survival-wise, or is it because it is so cut and thrust? Is that a difficult thing?
I think you look at it from the point of view of the next game. For us, it's all about the next game. You know, we are new and we're novices at this level, so we have to think of only one thing, which is gaining as many points as we possibly can. Everybody has an idea of roughly where you should be, when and where, but then that brings unforeseen pressure sometimes when you don't reach those targets. So for us, the next game is the most important one, and we know that we have a lot of challenges ahead.
How pleased you've been with the spirit of the dressing room? We heard Curtis Davis earlier. I mean, clearly a smaller group is easy to work with, but they seem challenging. It's
never been in doubt, the spirit of the dressing room, right from day one. You know, I think the players understand the situation they're in. They enjoy being in the Premier League. They want to be in the Premier League. They've earned the right to be in the Premier League, and it's just a case of trying to build on what we've got here. If we can do that, then we can progress. If we can't, then we know what the challenges are, and that is difficult.
And January perhaps give you some breathing space and get some more bodies in?
Well, it won't give us breathing space as far as the games that we've got, that's for sure. But well, everybody looks forward to the transfer windows now, because that's what they're there for. Whether you can do business or not is always difficult. But we are looking to improve. We're looking to add. Hopefully we can do that. You know, we're not looking for just one player. We're probably looking for 2 or 3 if we can possibly do that. So it's different at the bottom. There's a different attraction. You know, players come, you know, hopefully with a siege mentality and a survival mentality, or something to prove. So we'll try and attract what we can, and hopefully do some business.
And I suppose it won't be easy. Was it made less easy by the fact they didn't win the weekend?
Spurs is never easy. Spurs are a top quality team, and they're at the home ground, and they're looking at a different sort of season than probably what we are. They're not looking to survive, they're looking to win things. I think what they're doing is terrific. They're progressing year on year, and it will be a difficult game for us. We're under no illusions of that, but you know, we've built a little bit of confidence on our home form. Our away form could be much better, but we're going into a spell now where strange things happen. This Christmas period can throw up some funny results, and hopefully we can cause 1 or 2 of them.
What's that down to? Is that down just because of the compression of games, or people don't know how to deal with it? Or?
No, I think the big teams know how to deal with it. I think the big clubs now are used to these periods of time. I think what they've got in their favour is the opportunity to chop and change and to re-energise themselves now. From our point of view, we've got ourselves in a position where we're trying to keep continuity, we're trying to bring in a few fresh legs here and there if we can, but we haven't got that depth, you know, so we have to rely on other things, which is courage and endurance and a good attitude and mentality.
And you mentioned the word concentration. It's going to be about concentration at White Hart Lane when you have long periods perhaps without the ball. Yeah,
well, that's a fact of life, you know. That's possession seems to be the number one thing that teams have now. I think the case is that you don't get too frustrated by a team having the ball all the time, because there will be opportunities. Hopefully we can take our opportunities when they come our way.
Anyone come back into the group? Is Alex Bruce?
No, Alex is not back in. Nobody's back in, other than we had Sean Maloney back for Saturday. He was on the bench, and he's still available to us. So that is the squad we've got.
Just a final question from me. Pep Guardiola says he doesn't teach tackling. I imagine you probably teach tackling, don't you?
Well, it's a difficult one, that, now, because tackling is still part of the game, and yet some of the tackles we see now get punished all the time. So I don't know where it actually sits within the game anymore. Everybody loves a good tackle. It seems to get the crowd up, and it seems to make sure that there's a bit of controversy in the game. But we all know that, you know, if tackling's done properly, it's good. If it's not, then it's criticised all the time. So he has his way of doing things. It's worked for him. He's had some fantastic players who don't need to tackle. It's hard to tackle because they keep the ball all the time. They keep it well. So now he's learning, you know, another side to the game in this country. But he's got the best players. He's got the best facility. He's got the best of everything, and I'm sure he'll come up with a solution.
Mike, just back to the incident, if I may, and Dele Alli, obviously the week before. There are video assistant referee trials at the moment in the Netherlands, Portugal, Germany, Brazil. And I wondered where you stood on video technology, your own personal opinion.
I think video technology is probably just around the corner. I think because of the high demand for the correct decisions and the rewards are so great now, we've created this environment now where everything is scrutinised so closely, because it can be, then I think it's only a matter of time before things are going to be judged real time by probably a fifth referee or a sixth referee or assistant, whatever. We seem to be adding to it all the time. It's gone in the league, it's gone in Europe, so I'm sure it will come into the game at some point.